has any problem, you can ask me in between. Okay. I hope everyone can hear me and it is clear. Fine. So the second unit is three-phase induction machines. Okay. So as we discussed yesterday, like DC machine, we have induction machine. That is, it can run as induction generator or it can run as induction motor. So induction machine, 90% of induction machine we will use as a motor. The application is motor. Okay. So first point regarding induction machine is it is a singly excited machine. So what is meant by excitation? So excitation is giving an electrical supply to a electromagnet or any winding. That is called excitation. Okay. So now the DC motor is singly excited or doubly excited. Anyone? The DC motor is singly excited or doubly excited? Yes.
Doubly excited, sir.
Doubly or singly?
Doubly excited.
Double.
Yes, very good. It is doubly excited. So when we recall the construction of DC machine or DC motor, we have the stator and rotor. Okay. So in stator, we have the projected poles and winding, that is called field winding. In rotor, we have the rotating part, cylindrical part, on which we have rotor winding. Okay. Now the supply is given to both stator winding as well as rotor winding. Okay, so excitation, the supply giving a supply is called excitation. So excitation is given to both the windings. So it is called a doubly excited machine. Okay, but in case of DC generator, only we give supply to field winding. We'll get electrical supply from the armature. Okay. So we are talking about the induction motor. So I will compare with the DC motor. So DC motor is a doubly excited motor, while the induction motor is a singly excited motor. So in first point, okay, singly excitation means only supply is given to one winding. Okay, and second one is induction machine is a phase shifting machine. So we will discuss it later. After that, okay, and induction machine is an electromechanical energy conversion device. Okay, so what is a motor? It is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy through the process of electromechanical energy. So induction motor is an electromechanical energy conversion device. Okay, and next one is it is a variable frequency machine. Induction machine is a, see, I'm talking about induction machine is a variable frequency machine. So we will discuss all these points after the discussion of the total induction motors or induction machines. Fine. Next, induction machines, I told you, most commonly used motors in all practical applications. So induction motors are the most commonly used motors in all the industrial and practical applications. Or 85 to 90% of motors are induction motors. Okay. Yes. So now, if you talk about induction motor, what is the working principle of motor? Lorentz principle. Whenever a current carrying conductor is in a magnetic field, an EMF will be induced. Or DC motor or reluctance or VLDC motor is a principle. Magnetic field. Okay, so now again we recall the DC motor operation. Why exert the DC field winding? We will give DC supply to the field winding as well as the armature winding. So why we give supply or excitation to the field winding? Anyone? To produce the magnetic flux. Okay. To produce the magnetic flux, we will give electrical supply that is called excitation to the field winding of DC motor. On that field we will get a magnetic flux. We need to place a current carrying conductor. So in the rotor or in the armature, hello, is it audible?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Okay.
కొంచెం బ్రేక్
So
అవుతుంది
that is it breaking? Okay,
Yes, sir.
wait. Wait for 1 minute. Yeah, now can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Okay, fine. So the excitation is given to the field winding of DC motor to produce the magnetic flux. In that magnetic flux, we need to place the current carrying conductor. So in the armature, we are having the windings. If we can supply the electrical energy or current to that winding, then it can be placed in a magnetic field. So that is the reason we give excitation to armature windings also. So these armature windings are called as current carrying conductors. Now when these are placed in the magnetic field, a force is experienced on these conductors, that is on the armature conductors. Now the armature conductors experience a force and starts rotating, that is torque is developed. This is the working principle. Okay. Now in induction motor also same thing has to be happened. Okay. So induction motor consists of mainly two parts. First one is stator, second one is rotor. The stator has the winding, rotor also has the winding. Okay, we are having two windings, but the electrical energy or electrical supply is given only to the stator winding. The rotor winding is not supplied with any supply. So it is called as a singly excited or doubly excited. It is a singly excited.
Single excited.
Okay. Yes. So the stator has a winding and is supplied with a three-phase supply. In case of three-phase induction motor, we study in this chapter only about three-phase induction motors. Okay. So three-phase supply is given to the stator winding of the induction motor. Now, whenever supply is given, the magnetic flux is produced. Fine. Now this magnetic flux is alternating or constant flux when three-phase supply is given to the stator of the three-phase induction motor.
Alternating.
Yes, it is an alternating magnetic flux. Now we have the magnetic flux. To produce the torque, what is our next thing? We have to place the current carrying conductors in this magnetic flux. Okay, so we have only option rotor winding, but rotor is not supplied with any electrical source. So it is called a current carrying conductor or only a conductor. Rotor winding is only a conductor. Okay. Now, because of the flux production from the stator winding, an EMF will be induced in the rotor winding. Okay. How an EMF will be induced in the rotor winding? The flux produced from the stator winding will rotate in the air gap between the stator and rotor. That is called rotating magnetic flux. How and why the magnetic flux will be rotating, we will discuss in detail. Okay. So for the time being, remember, in the next class, we'll discuss how the magnetic flux will be rotating. So for the time being, remember that the magnetic flux produced from the stator winding rotates and it cuts the rotor winding. According to Faraday's first law or electromagnetic induction, mutual induction, EMF will be induced in the rotor conductors. Okay. So whenever the rotor conductors are having a closed path or it is a closed circuit, then current also passes in the conductors. Okay, now we have the current carrying conductors, which are rotor windings. Now what happened? The rotor winding carries a current. Magnetic flux is produced from the stator. According to Lorentz principle, torque is developed on the rotor or not? Yes. So because of this torque, the rotor will start rotating. Okay. So here what we have done? Only supply is given to three-phase stator winding, and flux is produced, which is revolving in the air gap. Because of mutual induction, an EMF will be induced in the rotor winding. When the rotor winding has a closed path, current also passes, then torque is developed. Okay, this working principle is known as mutual induction principle. Mutual induction, because the rotor is getting electrical supply because of mutual induction. We are not giving any supply. Okay, so the induction motor works on the principle of mutual induction. Okay, so this is the basic working principle. I will explain in detail in the next class. So before that, we will go for the construction. Okay, so we have the main parts, stator and rotor. Wait. Okay, I will share the whiteboard and I will draw some diagrams and explain. Okay, so is it visible, all of you? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. See. This is the stator of the induction machine or any AC machine. Okay. And this is the rotor of so this is the stator and this is the rotor. Okay. In between these two we have air gap. Okay. So now this stator has winding throughout this internal periphery like this, and this is supplied with a three-phase AC supply, as we have discussed till now. And the rotor also has the winding, which is not energized or not supplied with any source. Now, whenever three-phase AC source is given to stator winding, the magnetic flux is produced, and I told that magnetic flux will revolve in this air gap with some speed. How it is revolving, we will discuss. Okay, forget about that. Now this rotating magnetic field, it is moving. Anyone is annotating?
Sir,
Yes, yes.
everyone is not able to see the whiteboard, it seems, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir, we are not able to.
Yes, sir, we are not able to see.
Sir. శ్రీధర్తి ఎందుకు
Now is it visible? Rasagna, is it visible now?
For me,
Yes, sir.
others-
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Why?
No, sir.
వస్తున్నా సార్
It is showing presentation. Why it is not?
వస్తుంది సార్
రావట్లేదు సార్.
Why some people are getting and some people are not getting this? Now is it visible?
ఎస్ సార్
No, sir.
No.
నో
Yes, sir.
What's
Yes,
the
sir.
problem?
You drew coils.
అసలు నీకు వర్షం వస్తే టిక్కి పెట్టాడు
నో సార్
Mm. Yeah, shall I continue? Okay, otherwise we'll do one thing. I'll stop sharing. Okay, for today I will explain theoretically. From tomorrow onwards, I'll use whiteboard or some PPTs so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, so we are discussing the parts of the induction machine. The induction machine, we have stator and rotor. The stator is in circular shape, okay, which is having a three-phase winding in its inner periphery. Okay. So in order to place the windings, we need to have slots on its inner periphery. Okay. So I think you can understand what is slot. In DC machine, the rotor core has a slots on its outer periphery. Like that, we have the slots on its inner periphery of the stator. So the purpose of slot is to hold the conductor to protect from its mechanical vibration or mechanical movements. When the machine revolves, the conductor should not come out from that slot. Okay. So the purpose of slot is to hold the conductor. So in the stator, the inner periphery has the slots. In that slots, winding is wound. Three-phase winding is wound. Okay. Now in that slots, we have three types: open type slot, semi-open type, and closed type slot. Better if I use the whiteboard, you can understand easily.
సార్ యూస్ సార్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏబుల్ టు సీ
But some of your friends are telling that it is not visible. So is it visible, everyone?
ఎస్ సార్
Okay. So this is called slot. So on its inner periphery, we have slots like this throughout the surface.
No, sir, it's not visible.
It's not visible.
It's not visible, sir.
Sir, only whiteboard is visible.
Only whiteboard is visible.
I'm drawing
Yes,
the
sir.
stated diagram. I'm drawing the
Sir,
stated diagram.
it is loading very slowly, sir. It is
Right.
coming but very slowly.
I think it is your internet problem or what?
Yes, sir. I think internet problem only.
Yes, it is your internet problem. Okay, can you see this diagram? Slots diagram?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Don't worry, I will repeat again in tomorrow's class. Those who can see this, just you see the diagram and I'll explain. No issue, tomorrow again I'll repeat. Okay. See, this is called slot. It gives the mechanical support to the conductor, as in case of DC motor. Okay, in these slots, we are having three types: open type, semi-open type, and closed type. So this is called open type, and this is called semi-open type. This one is called closed type. Okay. So in these three slots, which slot we have to prefer for AC machine windings? Okay. First of all, I'll explain what is open type slot advantages and disadvantages. If we use, okay, before discussing this topic, we have to go for the transformers again. So what is the leakage flux and useful flux in case of transformer? Which flux is called leakage flux or which flux is called useful flux in case of transformer?
The flux linking with
Or the flux.
called
Yes, anyone. Yes, tell me, Rasagna.
The flux which is linked with the conductors is called as useful flux, and which is not linked and will be dissipated into the remaining air is known as useless or another flux.
Leakage flux. Yes, in case of transformer, the flux which passes through the core and links with the conductor is called as useful flux, and the flux which passes through the air is called leakage flux. Okay, but in case of rotating machines or any machines, the flux which is linking with the conductor is called a useful flux. Other than that, flux is called as leakage flux. Okay, for example, see. Here we have one conductor. Here we have another conductor. So number of conductors we are having on this inner periphery of the stator. So this is the rotor. Between stator and rotor we have air gap. Okay. How the EMF will be induced in the rotor winding? Because of flux production from the stator winding. That means whatever the magnitude of flux produced in the stator must link with the rotor. So what is the medium between the stator and the rotor? Air gap is the medium. Okay. Through the air gap, the rotor is the rotor stator flux is passing on to the rotor conductors. Now the flux in the air gap in this machine is useful flux or leakage flux?
Leakage flux, sir.
It is called
leakage.
the flux in the air gap.
Useful,
Yes,
sir.
anyone can speak out. I need answer.
Useful, sir. Useful, sir.
Yes, in this machine, the flux in the air gap is the useful flux. Okay, the flux which links apart from this air gap, that is with these slots or any metal part of this stator is called leakage flux. But in transformer, it is reverse. The flux in the air gap is leakage flux. So what is the main objective or concept here? The flux which links with the conductor. This is the path, that is the medium is the air gap. So here the flux in the air gap is the useful flux. And the flux in the stator core material is the leakage flux. Okay. That is the first point. Now, if the air gap reluctance is more, okay, air gap reluctance is more, what is the flux value? Less. Yes or no? If reluctance is more, flux is less. But we need to produce the required flux in the air gap. Okay. So if the reluctance is more, the stator conductors will draw more current to produce the same flux. Okay. That is, the power factor will decrease. In case of transformer, we have studied the no load current I0 can be divided into two components. One is magnetizing component, other one is working component. Okay. The magnetizing component depends on the reluctance of the magnetic circuit. Okay. So that is the reason we use silicon steel, which has low reluctance, high permeability. If the reluctance is very low, for a given small amount of magnetizing current, required flux is produced. If the reluctance is high, to produce the same flux, we need to, the winding has to draw more current from the source. Okay. So if the magnetizing current is more, what happens to power factor? Increases. We have seen in the, you might have studied in the transformer. I will draw here again. Okay. So we have the no load current I0, which is the resultant of IW and IMU. What is IMU? Magnetizing current. What is IW? Working component of current. Okay. This is voltage. Now, the angle between this voltage and current is called which angle? Power factor angle. Okay. What is power factor? Cosine of the angle between voltage and current. Cos phi. If the phi is increasing, what happens to cos phi? Will decrease. Cos 90 is 0. If phi is increasing, cos 90 is 0. Now when the phi will increase? When this IMU is increases. See, if the IMU is increased, resultant current is this one. This is the I0. Now what happens to phi here? Increased. Angle between the voltage and current is increased. Then power factor is decreased. So what is the reason for decreasing of power factor? Increasing of magnetizing current. What is the reason for increasing of magnetizing current? Increasing of reluctance in the magnetic circuit. If the reluctance is increased, we need to give more current to produce the same flux. Okay, fine. That is the first point. And second point is leakage flux. Okay, so now first slot is open type slot. If you have open type slot, what is the air gap when compared to semi-closed? Air gap is more when compared to open type and semi-closed. Air gap is more in case of open slot. So in the open type slots, the power factor is more or less? Power factor is less because air gap is more, reluctance is more, power factor will be less. Okay. In case of semi-closed type, the air gap is less compared to open type slot. Here we can decrease the width. Okay. So now power factor improves. Power factor improves. If you go for completely closed type, air gap is almost very less. So power factor improves a lot compared to these 3 slots. Understand? So we are having 3 types of slot and we are discussing about the first point is power factor. So which type of slot has more power factor? Closed type. What is the reason? In closed type slot, air gap is less. So if the air gap is less, reluctance is less. The required input current is less to produce the same magnetic flux. So that is the reason I can say we can prefer this closed type slot. Okay, it is not conclusion. First point. Second point, we need to consider the leakage flux also. Okay. So what is leakage flux? The flux other than the air gap is leakage flux. Okay, now we can tell out of these 3 slots, which slot has more leakage flux? Anyone can answer?
Closed, sir.
Yes, very good. So closed type slot has the more leakage flux because it has the more core material. Okay, to pass the flux from stator to rotor, it has to cross this stator core material. So it is linking with the other materials than air gap. Now when compare, if you see the open type slot, directly the flux goes from stator to rotor. In between, only we have air gap. So in semi-closed, it is moderate. So when coming to leakage flux point, which is better? Open type slot is better. When coming to power factor, which is better? Closed type slot is better. So now which slot we have to consider? Either open type or closed type.
Partial.
Semi-open.
Yes, very good. Semi-open. Why? If we consider open type slot, power factor is very less. First of all, okay, power factor is less. Okay, I'll agree. What happens if the power factor is less? I go with open type slot. My power factor is less. So what will happen? What is the drawback?
Losses are more, sir.
No,
Reactive power is more.
losses are no way concerned with the power factor. Remember that first point. Sorry?
Efficiency is less.
Efficiency is no way considered with power factor.
Reactive
It will
power
draw
is
high
more, sir.
magnetizing current.
It will draw high magnetizing current. That is the reason we are getting low power factor. Yeah, someone is telling another answer. That is correct. Who is that?
Reactive power, sir.
Yes, very good. The machine will draw more reactive power. Okay, it will draw more reactive power. Then what happens? What is the problem? It will draw more reactive power. Then problem for ours means we are using induction motor. We are the customers, the consumers. Then problem for consumers are the substation. If the reactive power is more.
Consumers.
No, it is a problem for substation. Finally, we will be charged a fine. Okay, I'll tell you clear process why it is and how it is. See, if the machine will draw more magnetizing current, our power factor will be less. So that is the reason in general cases, if power factor is less, we need to maintain the power factor nearly unity. If it is 0.8, okay. If it is 0.5 or 0.6, the substation will charge a fine. Why? The reason is, if our machine, due to our machine, if power factor is less, it will draw more reactive power. If it will draw more reactive power, the line voltage will decrease. Voltage drop is more in the power system line, the line voltage will decrease. So if the line voltage will decrease, what will happen? Only we are not the consumers for that substation. Number of houses are connected, number of appliances are connected. So to other customers, other consumers, this voltage will be reduced. For example, if the rated voltage is 230, they may get 190 or 180 or 170. depending upon your reactive power draws. Okay, if they get 190, 180 volts, their loads will not work properly because all the loads are rated for some voltage. That is single phase 230 volts, three phase 440 volts in India standard. So if you give that voltage only, the fan will work. Sometimes we can observe our fans will run with low speed even though power supply is there because low voltage problem. So because of your machine, your load, other loads or other consumers are getting disturbance. The reason is reactive power. Okay, if the reactive power is more, voltage drop is more. Okay, when the reactive power increases because of this inductive loads. So we need to maintain the power factor nearly unity. So that is the reason we don't go for open type slot. Fine. Okay. Then why we no need to go? Why we don't go for closed type slot? Then we can go for closed type. With closed type, the reluctance is very low, power factor improves, so no reactive power is less, voltage drop is very less. So we can go for closed type, but we don't go for closed type. What is the reason?
Air gap is less.
So what?
More leakage.
Leakage
Leakage flux is
more.
then what happens?
Then we should use more number of conductors, sir. Motor weight will increase.
No. How it is you are linking?
EMF induced will be less, sir.
EMF induced will be less. Okay. Yes. If the leakage flux is more, we may not get the sufficient working flux in the air gap. Okay. If we don't get the sufficient working flux and at the same time leakage flux is represented with the leakage reactance XL, X suffix L. Okay. So because of that leakage reactance XL, we will have I into XL voltage drops internally. It is not affected to power system line. It is affected to our machine internally. Okay, our internal machine internal voltage will less. Again the same problem. Okay, so voltage, if voltage is less, that is rated is 440. Because of this leakage reactance, it is reduced to 350 or 360. Again, the induction motor will not work properly. So that is the reason we don't go for closed type slots. Okay, so we select the semi-closed type slot which has the moderate values. It satisfies the power factor as well as the leakage reactance. Fine. I hope you understand. Okay, so this is the these all slots are provided in the stator inner periphery. Okay. In these slots, which winding we will place? Stator winding of three phase. Stator three phase winding. So I'm drawing here again. So this is the stator core. These are the slot. This is not exact diagram. Please imagine. So throughout the surface, we have the slots. In this winding is placed. So first one is selection of slot is very important. So we have done this. We have done with this. That is semi-closed type is preferred. So in this regarding this topic, you may get one multiple choice question also in the GATE examination. Okay. Fine. Now, when coming to the stator core, this is the stator core, which is made up of. Okay, now tell me what is the core material used for transformer?
Silicon steel.
Yes. Why it is silicon steel? Why not it is steel or why not it is iron?
Reluctance is less.
The reluctance of the.
For which one?
Core.
Which one?
It reduces the reluctance.
No. Okay, why
To reduce eddy.
Why silicon?
Reluctance is low.
Steel, why steel? Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll explain you. Listen. So while selecting the core material, it is very important to see that our losses will be less. What are the different types of losses we have in the electrical machines? Iron losses and copper losses. If it is a static machine, when we go for rotating machines, we have iron losses, copper losses, and mechanical losses.
Mechanical.
Okay. Yes. For example, I will take the example of transformer. In transformer, we don't have any mechanical losses. Okay. While selecting the material for transformer, we need to concentrate on the iron losses. Okay, because copper losses depends upon what? Current flowing through the winding. The current flowing through the winding in a transformer, we cannot adjust. That depends upon the load on secondary winding. Okay, so we cannot do anything. Now what is remaining? Iron losses. In iron losses, again, we are having two types. What are those?
Eddy
Current losses.
Eddy currents and hysteresis.
Yes.
Eddy current
losses and
hysteresis.
hysteresis losses. Okay. We have to choose the core material such that it has low eddy current losses and low hysteresis losses. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll talk about hysteresis losses. What is hysteresis losses? These are the losses takes place in the core material in the form of heat because of magnetic reversals for every half cycle. Magnetic reversals for every half cycle. What is magnetic reversals? I will tell you again here. You might have been studied in DC missions, but I'll repeat again here. See, if this is the magnetic material, okay, how North Pole and South Pole are formed? In every magnetic material, we have some dipoles, magnetic dipoles. Okay, which are aligned in random fashion. This is the random fashion. Okay. Now, if the magnetic dipoles are aligned in a random fashion, then it cannot act as a magnet. Whenever all the dipoles are aligned in one direction, then it acts as a magnet. How we can make all the dipoles to get in one direction? By giving electrical supply. That is by giving excitation. So if I give excitation to this AC, okay, so what is alternating supply? For every half cycle, it changes the direction. So first half cycle positive, second half cycle negative current. Yes or no? Yes. So if the current is positive in one direction, then all the dipoles will align in this direction. For example, for next half cycle, the current direction is negative. Then all the dipoles will align in reverse direction. Okay, so based on this, poles are formed. Now what happens? For every half cycle, the magnetic dipoles are changing their direction. Okay, so in this process, what will happen is the dipoles are continuously moving from left to right, right to left. Fine. Now, while changing from positive supply to negative supply, all the dipoles has to change their direction. But some dipoles, they don't change their direction. They will remain in the previous direction. For example, for better understanding, if you are sitting in a classroom, no class is going on, no faculty is there. You will discuss each other or you will do your own works. When faculty enters into the classroom, what you will do? Suddenly you pay attention towards the board or to the faculty. All of the members will pay attention towards the faculty? No. some 5 to 6 members, they will do their works as it is. They don't change their behavior. Okay, then what we have to do as a faculty? We have to use additional force. We have to scold them, or we have to ask them to listen to the class. Okay, so apart from you, for those people, we have to use more energy. Yes or no? So like that, from positive half cycle to negative half cycle changing, some dipoles will not change their direction. To change their direction, some additional current is required. That is called coercive force in BH curve. Of course, I'm repeating all this. You might have been studied in the last semester. So that coercive force is required, additional force. Because of that additional force, some power loss will take place. That is called hysteresis losses. So hysteresis losses only takes place whenever there is an alternating supply is there. If it is DC, there will be no hysteresis losses. Then you may get a doubt. In DC machine also you will be studying hysteresis losses. How it is? What is the reason?
In armature, AC will flow.
Yes, very good. In the armature winding, the induced EMF is AC. By using commutator, we are converting it to DC. Okay. So here the final point is the hysteresis losses present whenever there is a magnetic reversals takes place. When the magnetic reversals takes place, when supply is AC. Fine. This is called hysteresis losses. Now, the reversal of dipoles depends on material to material. In some material, they will move quickly. In some material, they'll move slowly. Okay. So in which material these reversals takes place quickly, then we can say that material has high permeability. Okay. Permeability is the opposite to that of reluctance. If reluctance is low, permeability is high. That means both are same. Both will allow the more flux. Reluctance is less, more flux. So permeability is more. So if the permeability of the material is more, it will allow more flux because the dipoles can change their direction easily with less amount of additional source. Okay, even if the material is having high permeability also, it has some hysteresis losses, but very less. So we have to select the material. That material is steel. Okay, steel has the high permeability and high hysteresis coefficient. We have the formula for hysteresis losses. Some B max eta into B maximum power x F power x. Okay, so here x is the hysteresis coefficient, which is 1.6 for silicon steel. Very less. So that is the reason for all AC machines, the core material used is steel. Here it is fine. Now we know the material for the transformer is silicon steel. Why we have added silicon again? The reason is the silicon is added only 4 to 5% to the steel to reduce the eddy current losses. So silicon will reduce the eddy current losses. Steel will reduce the hysteresis losses. So combinedly called as iron losses. So silicon steel can be chosen for the core material of transformer or any AC machine. How silicon reduces the eddy current losses? First of all, what is eddy current loss? Anyone? What is eddy current loss?
Losses because of circulating currents.
Circulating currents in
Core.
Core. Very good. So in generator or transformer, we know that according to Faraday's electromagnetic induction, EMF will be induced in the windings. And at the same time, winding is wounded on the core material, some magnetic material. In that material also EMF will be induced. And the core material is a closed one. It's a solid one. We have a circulating currents, closed path for the currents. That circulating currents is called as eddy currents. Because of that current and the resistance of that material, we have I square R losses in the core, not winding. Okay, that losses is called as eddy current losses. So eddy current losses or hysteresis losses both will be dissipates in the form of heat in the core. These two will occur in core itself, core only. Okay. So that is the reason while selecting the core, we have to select the material such that that material has low hysteresis losses and low eddy current losses. Okay, fine. Now, if you use silicon, silicon has the high resistivity. Okay, high resistivity. Resistivity is the opposite to conductivity. So if you add silicon, the resistivity of the core material will be increased. So which can oppose the eddy current loss, eddy currents, such that eddy current loss will be reduced. And one more remedy we can follow to reduce the eddy current losses in the core. What is that?
Laminations.
Yes, laminations. Apart from choosing the silicon material, we go for lamination. If we go for lamination, what will happen? The net cross-section area of the core will be reduced. I think you know what is lamination. It is not a solid one. The solid material will be cut into number of sections and joined together in a high pressure. That is called lamination. Because of lamination, the net cross-section area will be increased for that, will be decreased for that material. So resistance will be increased. R equal to rho L by A. Cross-section area will decrease, resistance increases. So this is the reason for any AC machine, whether it is a transformer, induction machine or synchronous machine, what is the core material we have to use? Silicon steel. Silicon steel. So in this, steel is 90 to 95% and silicon is 5 to 10%. Fine. Yes. So now we are discussing our induction machine. Okay, in induction machine, the stator core is made up of silicon steel material. The reason is this one. Okay. So this is the stator core. Again, I'm drawing here. And it is laminated one. We know why it is laminated, how it is laminated. And we have the slots on its inner periphery. Okay. So which slot we have to use? We have discussed. Semi-closed type we need to use. Okay. In these slots, which winding is placed? Yes, Abhiram. In these slots, which winding is placed?
Stator windings.
Yeah, that is called stator winding. That is three-phase winding. Okay, three-phase winding. This winding may be a star connected or maybe a delta connected. We will discuss in detail later. What is why we go for star and delta? So 3 terminals can be brought out from this stator. So this winding is called stator winding. Okay, and 3-phase supply is given to stator winding. So blindly you have to remember, and of course I'll explain you also. When 3-phase supply is given to stator winding, one magnetic flux is produced and which is rotating. That is called rotating magnetic field, RMF. This is very, very important topic. Rotating magnetic field. Okay, how it will rotate? We have the explanation. I will tell you. So till this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, one more point I want to tell here. Yes, what is concentrated winding and what is distributed winding? In case of DC machine, the stator poles has concentrated winding or distributed winding? In DC machine. Or in transformer, it is a concentrated or distributed winding. I think you can see
concentrated wirings.
Concentrated
Windings, sir, in transformer.
In DC machine?
DC machine, it's full pitched distributed.
No, you are going beyond. In DC, there is no pitching, full pitch or short pitch. See, we will. Yeah, I'll tell you. in DC emission, these are the projected poles of stator. So we have winding at this place and we have winding at this place. Okay. So this is called concentrated winding. What is concentrated winding? The winding is concentrated about only one axis. But in case of induction machine, if you observe, throughout the internal surface of the stator, the winding is wound, that is distributed. If the winding is distributed throughout the surface of the core. See, in the DC machine, if you have two pole, this part is left with unwounded. This part is left with unwounded. Only these two are wounded. So this is called concentrated. Whenever the winding is distributed throughout the surface of the core, it is called distributed winding. Okay. Now the stator winding of induction machine is 3-phase distributed star or delta winding. The stator core of 3-phase induction machine is silicon steel laminations. And we have semi-closed type slots. The reason we know. Supply is 3-phase supply. Then rotating magnetic field is produced. Till this we need to have clarity. Got it, all of you? Yeah. So now in next class we will discuss about the rotor. Okay. So after discussing about rotor, then we go for first unit. What is harmonics and what is full pitch, short pitch, and everything. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll plan for the better understanding whiteboard or any other means. Okay. So now everyone can see this whiteboard, or anyone has problem with this? See, reply me who cannot see this whiteboard. For whom it is not visible, they can reply. Otherwise, I will take it as granted.
Sir, we can't see.
We can't see it, sir. Not visible.
You can't see means it is not visible completely, or it is taking some time for loading.
No,
Sir,
sir,
it's
only
not
Sir,
right.
there is a whiteboard, but there is
Not
no
visible.
drawing on it, sir.
No drawing. I am drawing from the last 20 minutes.
But
But
it's
we
not
can't see it,
displaying,
sir.
sir.
We are not.
Okay. I'll find out what is the reason. For some people it is visible, someone it is not visible. Means fault is not from my side, I think. Okay. I'll get back. Okay. Yes, you can ask any doubts for today's class. Please mute your microphones. Yes, any doubts? Okay. I think no one is raising doubt.